The girls and I were able to get away from the homestead for the day. We went down to Branson with our church youth group to see the Samson musical at the Sight and Sound Theater in Branson, and we had a great time. But while we were away, Kevin was here on the homestead and he harvested a bunch of green beans. So I have the kids in the dining room. They're snapping beans for me so that I can get ready to can them. And while they're doing that, I thought I would go check out and see what's going on in the garden and give you a little update to see what's going on. These days I'm trying really hard to have the dehydrator going all the time and to can every day. And it hasn't been hard for me to do that with everything that we have growing in the garden right now. So today is a green bean processing day, and there also is some cayenne peppers I think that it can come out of the garden and can go into the dehydrator. Do you see all the bright red? Those are all ripe cayenne peppers ready to come inside the house. The girls did a fantastic job with the beans. So now I just need to get my canners out and start canning them. I also have a big pot of tomato sauce that is ready to be canned. I'll probably work on that tonight. And then I noticed that there are just nearly 1 zillion tomatoes in the garden that are ready to be picked, so that is another big project for me coming up. I think we might be nearing the end of our goal also for diced tomatoes, and I'm hoping to really make a big dent on the goal for tomato sauce. So we'll see how that goes, and that should be coming up to show you guys in a day or two. Green beans have to be pressure canned because they're a low acid food. I will be using 2 different canners today. One is a single stack, and actually in both cases today, because I'm doing quarts, I'll be using single layer. But in my double stack I can do 2 layers of pint-sized jars. This canner has a pressure gauge, whereas this canner just has a weight that will rock back and forth when it's at the right pressure temperature. It comes with different weights to put on this that will make it 5 pounds of pressure, 10 or 15 pounds of pressure, and all my canning is 10 pounds of pressure, so I have that set accordingly. Now inside both of these canners there is a couple different lines kind of etched into the inside that will tell you the water level that is needed for canning in both of them. So I've gone ahead and put the appropriate amount of water in both of these up to the first line. I'm going to add a splash of vinegar to both to make sure that the jars inside stay really nice and clean so I don't have to wipe them off. And I'm going to be heating both of them up just to get the water hot rather than waiting until it's full of jars. And then after that I'll be boiling some water to add into the jars of green beans. Kevin picked enough green beans for the kids to fill 15 quarts of green beans. My canners only hold 7 quarts each, so I'm going to pull out one of these and keep it for dinner tonight. The addition of salt in your veggies when you're canning is optional, but I'm going to go ahead and add a ½ teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt to every quart. That way it'll just enhance the flavor a little bit more when we cook them. We actually love to buy pink Himalayan salt in bulk, and we have found that Amazon has a fantastic deal. We have it listed in our Amazon shop if you'd like to learn more about it. Pressure canning green beans is really a lot more simple than it probably seems. Basically, you just snap the beans, put them in a jar until about an inch or two away from the top of the jar. Add your salt and fill it with boiling water until the water level is about 1 inch away from the top. After you get to that level, then you just want to stick some kind of tool down inside the jar and mix up the beans a little bit, and that will force any air pockets that are trapped down in there to be released, and that will give you a more accurate measurement of how high the water level is. If it's fine, then go ahead and add your lid and a ring. But if it's not tall enough, if it's not an inch away from the top, then just add a little bit more water. And then from here it goes right into the canner. This canner is full, so it's time to put the top on and get the heat started. Once the pressure builds in the canner and it starts blowing out of this valve here, you allow it to blow out of here for 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, you put on the weight. Now that this canner has reached 10 psi, I will set a timer for 25 minutes and I will regulate the heat nozzle to make sure that it does not go above 15 pounds of pressure. When this type of canner reaches the correct amount of pressure, the weight will start to wobble and rock gently, and that's when you start your timer. And you turn down the heat to make sure that it's only rocking gently, not like all crazy out of control. This one is done. You can turn off the heat, and then we need to take it off the burner. Too hot. All of this time we've been waiting for this lock to drop down. When the pressure builds up inside of there, this pops up, and then you take it off of the heat, and as it rests, the pressure comes down, and then when it's down enough, this lock will fall. So you should wait at least 5 minutes after this lock falls, and then you'll remove the weight. On this second one, the lock has also fallen, and I've waited several minutes, and now I can remove this weight. Now that the weights are off of these pressure canners, I'm actually going to wait another 10 minutes before opening the lid. When I open the lid, I'm just going to open it just a little bit and set it on top of itself so that the heat doesn't escape too quickly. If you do all of this process too quickly, then it's likely that the liquid inside of your jars will siphon out the top and then will compromise the seal potentially of your jar. So this part of the process I tend to do much slower than even some of the books tell you to, just because I don't want to risk siphoning out all the liquid in my jars. So I'm just going to let this sit tight for about 10 minutes, and then I'll open the lid a little bit. Well, this is very exciting because these 14 jars put us over our goal of 50 jars of green beans for the year. We're actually now at 56. So that's awesome, and we actually have more green beans still in the garden, ready to come out, so anything above this is a bonus. So even though I've kind of gone through the pressure canning process step by step, I haven't covered everything. And if you've never pressure canned before, I really encourage you to pick up one of the books that will teach you step by step the proper way. One that I recommend is this book, which is my absolute favorite book. It is the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving, and it includes 400 recipes. This is my baby. I use it all the time. You can see how many bookmarks I have in it. I use this all the time. So get this. I did put it in our Amazon shop if you want to take a look at it, along with one other canning book that I recommend. So go check this out if you're interested in canning in general, but specifically in pressure canning. Well, it has been a great day on the homestead. It's time for dinner now, so we're going to close this up. Before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share this video, and hit the notification bell so you are notified every time we have a new video, which come out 5 days a week. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care, and God bless.
God bless.